Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Welcome to our What's New at TravelJoy Winter 2025 webinar. My name is Caitlin. I'll be your host for today. I am joined in the audience by a few friendly faces from the Joymaker team, Marissa, Lenore, Chelsea, Cody, and Heather. They'll be hanging out in the questions tab to help provide answers as we move through today's session. Now, we've created this webinar to introduce you to the latest and greatest additions to the TravelJoy platform from the past few months. Now, before we begin, if you are new to the TravelJoy platform, I would love to tell you a little bit about who we are. So we are TravelJoy, the all-in-one platform for travel advisors. With our platform, you get a centralized digital workspace to manage clients, create proposals and itineraries, and handle payments all in one place. From our full CRM to our itinerary builder, you get access to tools that help you save time, stay organized, look professional, and simplify payments. Now, today we'll be discussing around 20 new exciting features from group itineraries, passport parsing, as well as setting up automatic email confirmations and more. As a thank you for attending today, we're also going to be giving you an exclusive sneak peek at an upcoming release, as well as a big refresh to one of our most used features. It's one that many of you have been asking for, so I think you'll be really excited to see this update. Now, the best part is, this is just the start to many new exciting features to come. And these features start with you. We take great care to listen to the feedback provided by advisors like yourself to ensure TravelJoy continues to be a tool that helps you run your business successfully. So thank you for trusting us with that feedback, and please keep it coming. We are always open to hearing what you have to say. Now, before we begin, I'd like to go over some light housekeeping for today's webinar. The very first point is that this webinar will be recorded and sent to you by email following the conclusion of today's event. If I go a bit too fast, not to worry, you'll be able to review the recording later on at your own pace. This recording will also feature the questions tab and chat box from today's webinar. You'll also notice that we have the questions tab open, and questions are welcome. To submit a question, please use the questions tab just below the chat box. It's the circle icon with the question mark in it. We are expecting a very large crowd today, so we request that all questions be asked in the questions tab only, as questions asked in the chat tab may get lost quickly. Now, we'll try our best to ensure you receive an answer to your question today. However, if you are unable to get you an answer by the end of our allotted time, please feel free to reach out to us utilizing the blue chat button in the bottom right-hand corner of your TravelJoy account, or email us at hello@traveljoy.com. It's also important to note that we won't be addressing feature requests today. This session is specifically designed to showcase the newest tools available on TravelJoy. So if you have an idea for a new TravelJoy feature, we are always up for that. Please drop us a line at hello@traveljoy.com, and we're happy to get that conversation started with the team. Now, with all this in mind, let's go ahead and jump in because we have a lot to cover today. We'll be moving through many different topics at a very quick pace. I couldn't be more excited to show you what our amazing team has created for you in the past few months, so let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this screen while I switch gears just a little bit. And hello, everyone. Welcome. I see we have so many people visiting from so many different areas. It's so nice to see you all and have you all here. I'll go ahead and share my screen again. And thank you for sharing your Tuesday afternoon with me. All right, folks. Okay. So we are going to be jumping off at smart proposals and itinerary updates. So I'm going to head into one of the trips that I've already created within my TravelJoy account to show you some of these updates. I'm going to be heading into our trip Janice Doe's Texas Adventure and heading into our trip files tab to view a proposal that I've already created. So the first update I'm going to show you is our board view. So this actually came out right around the time that we had our last What's New at TravelJoy webinar. So if you're interested in organizing your smart proposal in a different way and kind of seeing the layout a different way while you're building, you can go ahead and use this toggle just to the left of the library button to turn to board view. So I'm a little zoomed in right now, but as you can see, this just gives you a different look at how to organize your smart proposal. You can drag and drop items if you need to in here. You can go ahead and use this just as a different way of organizing the proposal itself. So that's one of our really exciting updates to kind of help you make your workflow your own. The next thing we're going to talk about is a smaller update to our smart proposal and itinerary library. And we'll be talking a little bit more about a bigger update to the library. But for now, I'm going to show you this nifty tool. When we head to the library button Instead of adding to the proposal and seeing that item be added to the very bottom of the proposal like we did in the past, you can now just grab, drag, and drop items from your library wherever you need them to go within the Smart Proposal or itinerary. So no longer do you have to scroll to the very end of your itinerary. You can save a little bit of time and drag and drop directly from your library where you want that item to go. Another big update that we have is around confirmation emails for proposals. So I'm going to scroll up just a little bit, and I'm going to get rid of that tropical dinner item from our Smart Proposal. We're going to head to that Settings tab up here at the top. And I want you to scroll all the way down to the bottom to where we see confirmation email down here, just below or above that chat button. So this is going to allow you to select any email from your email templates to be triggered to be sent when your client approves their proposal. So say you want to schedule a Zoom meeting with them. You can go ahead and set up an email that can be sent immediately after they approve the proposal with follow-up steps and anything you want them to know. This is a great way of kind of automating your workflow and taking that step off your plate. Another update that we are adding to our Smart Proposal and itineraries, and again, there's so much happening here, so we're going to jump around quite a bit. But if we head all the way down to our Magic Importer tool, which you're probably already familiar with, you know that we can add in any itinerary or invoice to bring in cruise information, hotel information, and flight information. But did you know we can also bring in details for activities? That's correct. If you have any kind of invoice or itinerary for an activity that your client is going on, you can go ahead and drag and drop or select that file from your computer, which I'm going to do right now, just a little bit off screen. Drop it here. And it's going to import that information, and it's going to bring in the basic details of that activity. Again, saving you a little bit of time. So we see it's been added here, our Austin City Kayak Adventure. It's going to bring in that confirmation number, the duration, the date, and the time. I'm going to go ahead and just drag and drop this where I want it to go, which will be under our second day here. And that made that activity import process so much easier than having to input all that detail by myself. So a big update to our importer. All right, another update, we now can allow for booking transfers directly through TravelJoy. So you may have heard that you can now book activities through Viator as well as book hotels through TravelJoy, but did you know that you can book transfers for your clients? All we have to do is head up to this Explore Bookable Items button when we're creating the itinerary or Smart Proposal. And up at the top here, we're going to select Transfers from the options that appear. Now, because the Smart Proposal is already based in Austin, Texas, it's going to give me a few recommendations right off the bat, or you can search for additional recommendations here. We see our full proposal on the right-hand side here. And once we find one that we like, we can click on it, view a few details about the actual transfer itself, cancellation policy, any other important information you need to potentially provide to your clients, all already done for you. If we decide we like this option, we're going to add to the proposal using Add to Proposal button up here at the top right. It's going to add it to the bottom, but again, you can drag and drop it wherever you'd like it to go. I'm going to place it at the top here. Just going to, whoop, there we go. Awesome. And then I'm going to head back to my proposal. We can see that item has been added. It's got that beautiful little blue sparkle just to the right corner there. If we click on the item, we can even adjust our markup if we need to underneath this green box here using this slider bar. And you can see your profit down here at the very bottom, depending on how you would like to adjust your markup. And what your client sees is when we preview the proposal, they'll be able to book this transfer if they like what they see using the Book Now button when they're viewing the proposal itself. So again, now you can add hotels, activities, and transfers as bookable items directly through TravelJoy. Amazing. All right, and when that's booked, you will receive a confirmation by email letting you know that the booking has been completed, and then off you go. Your client doesn't have to worry about their transfer to and from the airport or wherever they may be headed. Now, while I'm here, I do want to call attention to what is a very beautiful change in our Smart Proposal and itinerary layouts. So if you have been with TravelJoy for a while, you may have remembered when we had an overview over here on the right-hand side, and things were laid out just a little bit differently. We've given our itineraries and smart proposals a little bit of a facelift, and now things are looking pretty sleek. So we have our title card up here, but the overview now lives down here at the bottom left. These are all still clickable links that your client can use to get to any part of the proposal or itinerary as easy as possible. And then again, a really sleek update to the items themselves. So this just really, really is a cherry on top for your client who's already looking forward to their experience, but now they have a beautiful itinerary and smart proposal to look at as well. So very exciting update there. All right. Next, I'm going to head back to our editing screen because I am not done with smart proposals or itineraries. No, we still have a few more updates to share with you, if you can believe it. So the next one that we are going to be going over has to do with our cruise import feature. So by now you've probably played with the cruise imports if you do handle cruises within your day-to-day travel planning. You're able to bring in information like port destinations, activities, entertainment, dining. But did you also know that you can now bring in deck plan information? So I'm going to show you how this works just by adding an item. And if you haven't seen our cruise importer yet, you're in for a treat. I'm going to go ahead and use our add item button to select cruise from the list that appears. And I'm going to head over to the search cruises button. Now this cruise doesn't leave from Austin, Texas, I'm afraid, so it doesn't go with the theme of today's proposal, but this gives you an idea of what it can look like. So we have our Disney Cruise Line. We're going to say Dream. And this leaves on the 15th of 2025, just as an example for you. It's going to search and find that cruise here. And then if you've seen this before, or if it's brand new for you, you can go through these list of things that you would add to this item on the itinerary or proposal. So you can either choose to show dining options, entertainment options, health and fitness options, but we also have this new option for deck plans. So if this is selected, and I'm just going to go ahead and uncheck a few of these just so that we don't add too much to our proposal, but you can add all of that detail. If I select add proposal in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, it's going to add the details I've selected to the itinerary or smart proposal. And if we look at deck plans, it's going to bring that information in. It's currently trying to grab all of those photos from the cruise itself. And it looks like it's uploading down here. So as these photos start to come in, there's quite a few of them. You're going to see those deck plans change over here. You can select any of these, and this goes for any photos within smart proposals or itineraries. If you want to get rid of a few of them, just select them. It'll highlight them in blue. You can use the red X in the corner to get rid of anything that you don't want to display and keep anything that you do. So this would be a great way of displaying those deck plans to your clients to get them excited for their dream cruise. All right. Okay. So we've gotten through the main updates to smart proposals and itineraries, and now I get to introduce you to a few new things. So the biggest one, if I could have a drum roll, please, is that we have updated how our smart proposal and itinerary PDFs are laid out. So if you like to print your PDFs or send your clients PDFs of their itineraries or smart proposals, we have a treat for you. This has been rolled out as of today, so you are the first to hear about it. I'm going to get rid of a few of these, and then I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to head up to the top here. I'm going to head to our trip files tab, back to our proposal here. I'm going to use the three-dot menu at the top right-hand corner of the proposal itself, and I'm going to choose to save the proposal as a PDF. So it's going to save for me now. It's going to generate that proposal. What we would have seen in previous proposals is a little bit of a longer proposal. So we're talking probably about 10 to 15 pages. And while it looked great, we knew that we could do something a little bit better to get things a little bit more sleek and clean. And we heard from you, and we wanted to make sure that we were doing right by you. So again, I think you're really going to love this update. I'm going to go ahead and open this up so that you can see the brand new updated itinerary and smart proposal PDF layout. So now things are a little bit more compact. We can see that this entire proposal fits on 5 pages. The items are all going to be beautifully laid out on each page. And again, this just saves a few more pages, a little bit more time on your client's part, and looks professional. It looks great. So we're hopeful that you really love what you're seeing here. And this is now available on your account. So any itinerary or proposal that you'd like to generate a PDF of, this is what you're going to be seeing moving forward. Lots of celebration from the chat. I love it. Perfect. So glad to share that with you all. I'm also going to move into giving you an exclusive sneak peek of another option we're offering on proposals moving forward. So you may know that on proposals, if you have direct payments enabled on your account, you're able to collect direct payments through that smart proposal right then and there. But we've been working on something a little special for you. Coming to your account very soon is going to be the ability to accept authorizations through your smart proposal. So you can collect a credit card authorization through your smart proposal from your client to, again, streamline your process and save time. As you can see, I have accept authorization turned on. I'm going to choose the terms and conditions that I want my client to agree to when they are completing their authorization. We're going to list the total price that they're going to be authorizing. It's going to display at the top here. And we can choose whether or not we want them to pay in full or pay by deposit and final payment. So you have the ability to kind of customize that a little bit further. Now what this looks like, I'm just going to go ahead and share this proposal with my clients. We're going to send, customize our email, send it off, and I'm going to open it from my client's email inbox, so that way you can see the entire process from your client side. So Janice has received this trip proposal. She's going to open it up. Now, as you can see at the top right, we now have an approve and authorize button. So your client's going to be able to look through. They'll see the total price here. Proposal is just the same. They get to see all of the items that you've worked hard to put in here for them. And then at the top right-hand corner of the screen, when they click approve and authorize, they're going to be taken to an authorization page. They're going to view your terms and conditions here. They're going to complete their authorization, which I'm going to do as quickly as I can because I know how exciting this part is for everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Almost there. Working some magic. So once they've got all of their credit card details in, they can see, again, the full price over here. They're going to authorize and book. They'll get a thank you message. And then if we head back to their trip and refresh the page in any way, we get that authorization notification with links to their payment info. An invoice has already been generated. You'll receive an email notification letting you know that the authorize has been completed, and you're all good to go. So we can see that that invoice is authorized, all from your smart proposal. So we hope you're as excited about this as we are. Again, this is just a sneak peek. This has not been rolled out to everyone quite yet, but keep an eye out on your account. Perfect. All right, so that concludes our individual smart proposal and itinerary updates section. Let's go ahead and move on to a new feature that was released in the last few months, which is group itineraries. So I'm going to head back to our dashboard and into a group that I have created here for Belize. Now, a group itinerary can be created from one centralized location. Again, the name of the game is to save you time. So we can do this right from the All Travelers tab. And you're going to use the blue Create button to select the option Group Itinerary. Now, why is mine grayed out? Well, that's because I've already created a group itinerary to share with you all for today's demonstration. And there can't be more than one group itinerary within a group at a time. So I'm going to head over to the Group Files tab and show you what the itinerary builder looks like. Again, this is already created pre-webinar. So there we go. So this is my group itinerary that I've already created. And as you can see, looks pretty similar to a regular itinerary or proposal. There are a few bells and whistles on here that are a little bit different. The first being, you can customize this for travelers within this group. What I mean by that is, let's say that we have only 2 trips that are within this group that are going on this sunset sail with drinks and snacks. So if we click on this activity here, we're going to notice on the right-hand side, we have this visibility section. So right now, this activity displays to everyone within the group if they are opening their group itinerary. However, if only 2 trips on this group are going on this, we can select specific trips, We can select who we want to send this information to specifically, and this will only be shown to these 2 trips when they open up their itinerary, which is a pretty cool feature. So now you can customize it from one centralized location. Perfect. So what that's going to look like is when your client opens it, if they are not listed within this travelers group, they're not going to see the sunset sail and drinks and snacks. And you can see that just by that little visibility icon there. We have 3 travelers that are set to be able to see this icon. So very, very cool. Now, when you go to preview and send your itinerary, you can use that blue button at the top right-hand corner of the screen. You've got a couple of options here, and I want to make sure that we go over these 2 options that we have. You can preview each traveler's or each trip's itinerary by using this preview button here. If you decide you're going to send the group itinerary at the top right-hand corner of the screen, just know that any specific activities that have only a few people that can see it, that activity will be left off the itinerary entirely for all travelers. So if you do have specific activities that are only going to be visible to some trips, I highly recommend using the Send Linked Trips Itineraries button. This is going to allow you to send those specialized itineraries out to everyone at the same time, so everyone receives the itinerary that's customized to their trip. So once that's sent, it's going to look a little bit like this. I'm going to head into one of our travelers' trips. We'll say John Doe. After it's been sent, you're going to find that itinerary within your trip files tab for each of the individual trips. It'll look a little bit like this. It's got that little recycle icon on it, if you will, and that just lets you know this is a group itinerary. If you click on it, it's actually going to take you right back to that group itinerary builder. So you're, again, working from one centralized location. But if we head back to that individual trip and we view their itinerary, you're going to see that John, because he is on that sunset sail with drinks and snacks, he's going to be able to see it. But anyone that's not on that sunset sail and drinks and snacks, that item won't be there. So a lot of really exciting things happening with in-group itineraries. And again, we hope this helps save time, streamline your workflow, and make use of the time that you have setting up these groups. All right. How are we feeling? Everyone feeling good? Everyone's still with me, excited? I can feel it. Okay, let's talk about an addition to our templates tab. So if you've been working in Smart Proposals and Itineraries for a while, you probably have a decent library created. We saw that briefly when I was going over adding Smart Proposal and itinerary library items to the itinerary or Smart Proposal. But did you know now that you can go to the Templates tab on the left-hand side of your screen and select Library, and you can now completely manage your library from this tab. It's just taking a few moments to load. And it may be my internet here. There we go. So this is my library. I only have a few items added to it, but I can imagine that yours is a lot longer. So using the library tab, I'm able to look at all the items that I've already created. I'm able to add items at the top right-hand corner of the screen. And this is going to be the same list of items that we see when we're adding Smart Proposal items or itinerary items. I'm going to select activity from these options, and let's just add one together. So we're going to go ahead and add a farmer's market item. We can do an item description over here. Whoop, there we go. Fix that little spelling error. We can add photos from here if we need to, which I can do really quickly just to put a cherry on top here. There we go. We can do our location name, location address, any additional details, any documents that need to accompany this item. And we also now have the ability to tag these items so you can easily locate them throughout your library. So how you would add a tag to something, let's go ahead and say, since this is a Palm Springs event, I'm going to go ahead and put a tag for Palm Springs. And I'm going to use the Enter key to add that tag in place. Then I can add any other items such as, activity, for lack of a better term, enter, and it'll save it in place. Once you've added all of the details for your item, use that blue Save button. That item's going to save into your library. You'll be able to edit it, duplicate it, or delete it if needed. And then you can even filter your items by tag if you've added them. So you can use this button here to see all of the items that you've already added tags to. You can search for them if needed, and you can search for your items here. So very, very cool update to our library feature. Perfect. All right. Next, we are moving on to forms. So we have made some updates to forms that we think you're really going to like today. The first and foremost being passport parsing. So in the past, you may have had to create an entire form in order for your clients to fill out their passport information, but I'm happy to report that we've made that process a little bit easier for you. So one of the ways that we've done that is by adding passport parsing. I'm going to show you how it works. So I'm going to head back to Janice's Texas Adventure, and I'm going to send her a form with a passport upload field already in it. So I've already created this form within my form templates. I'm going to head to the blue create button at the top right hand corner of the screen, select form from the options that appear, and then I'm going to select the form that I've already created, which is a pretty simple form. It just has that upload button in it. It's my passport collection form. I'm going to head to next review email at the top right hand corner, but before I do want to show you we do now have the ability to send a confirmation email directly after a form has been submitted. So you can select that from your email templates. This is also a new feature. I'll go over it again in just a few moments, but wanted to point that out. If we head up to the blue next review email button at the top right, we're going to be able to send that to our clients. And away it goes. I'm just going to open this form up just so we can see the published form, and then we can complete that passport upload. So I'm going to use the get form link option, open it on up. So this is what our client would see when they open that from their email. And then I'm going to choose a passport from my computer. So give me just a few moments. This is an example passport. So the details are going to be pretty generic, but once it's uploaded, we're going to submit the form. We'll get a thank you message. And if we head over back to our TravelJoy account and we head to that client's profile and head to the passport info tab, we're going to see the details have already been uploaded from that passport image so that you no longer have to ask your client to fill out that information, and it saves them a ton of time as well. So that is our passport parsing feature. Very, very excited about that. Another update to our forms feature is a security update. So if I'm heading into our form templates tab, and I'm going to head into this What's New at TravelJoy webinar form that I've created for this purpose. And I'm going to show you how to enable the security feature for form links and embedded forms. So if you use the Show Advanced Form Options link here, you're going to notice that we have this option down at the bottom, Enable reCAPTCHA verification for embedded or linked forms. This is the process, and you've probably come in contact with it before. The game of trying to determine which pictures have buses in them or bicycles in them, the verify you're a human process, if you will. Now, we do have this able to be used on embedded forms as well as form links, but just take in mind that it's a little bit smarter than making you do a puzzle every single time. So what this looks like, if I head up to Get Form Link, and I copy that form link, and I use just one of these tabs here to show you what that form link looks like. At the bottom right-hand side, you're going to see this little badge here. So it's protected by reCAPTCHA. So this is basically going to run in the background, and if it notices anything that may be amiss, that may point to the person that is looking at the form as being potentially a scam risk, it's going to go ahead and complete that verification. But if it doesn't notice that anything is off, it's going to let your clients complete their form as normal. So just an extra added layer of protection, if you will, to ensure that you're not receiving a bunch of spam messages or anything through your forms that may be embedded in a public space. Perfect. All right. Another really exciting update to our forms is the responses tab. So if you have ever wondered what all of the responses to a particular form may be, you can now see all of those responses in one place. So you're going to open up the form template of your choice, head to the responses tab here, And you're going to be able to see any responses that have been completed on that form from this tab. From here, you're going to be able to export to a CSV file or Excel. You can copy this information or print it as well. So giving you a little bit more access to that data in one place. And more, I have more on forms, much more to share. So another thing that we have updated is for form links and embedded forms. You may have caught it when we were looking at this form previously, but you can now collect credit card authorizations and signatures and passport photos on form links and embedded forms. So you can now share these links with your clients to get those credit card authorizations as well as signatures and those passport photos. So big update. All right. And I'm just going down the list, making sure I don't miss any single thing to share with you right now. The last thing we're going to talk about is going to be confirmation emails. Now, we saw that very briefly when we were sending the form, but there's a few places that you can select this. So when you are editing your form template, you can now select a confirmation email. This will be the email template that sends when your client submits their form. So you can select a default email if you'd like underneath confirmation email when editing your form. So again, we're on that form editing screen. And just above here, confirmation email. You can select any of those email templates and that form or that email will immediately be triggered as soon as your client completes their form. And just to show you that process again, when you are actually sending the form within a trip, you'll head to that blue create button, select form, and select the confirmation email from this drop-down menu. So if you already have a default one selected within that form template, it's going to be automatically chosen here, but you can always change that form email if needed as well. All right. And I have a few more things to sprinkle in here that don't really belong in one category or another, so we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. Another update you may have noticed on your dashboard is your messages notifications. So it's this little bell up here. I have not been removing mine. As you can see, I have 64 of them. If you click on it, this is going to give you an update of any messages you've received, whether that's authorizations, whether it's a new message on the trip, all in one place, so you don't have to leave that main dashboard to see when a new message has been received regarding a trip. Amazing. Another update that we've made is to your contact cards. So if we head to your client list underneath the contacts tab, and we select a client that say, maybe we don't need them as an active client anymore, but we still want to keep their data in place. You no longer have to delete them to remove them from your active contact list. You can now use the archive feature in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Once you select archive, it's going to ask if you're sure. We'll say yes. That contact card is going to be removed from the active list that we see here, and then it's going to be placed within the archive list underneath this tab here. Now, if you need to unarchive your client, totally fine. You can use the unarchive button just to the right, but you can still access any details that you need to from their contact card on the archive tab. All right. Now, I do want to show you also a new update to confirmation emails when it comes to invoicing. So invoices can now have confirmation emails sent when your client authorizes or completes a payment. You can do so from a couple different locations. If we head back into Janice's trip and head to our trip files tab, both itinerary or invoice types, both supplier and direct, are going to allow you to choose this confirmation email underneath the settings section. So if we head into this invoice here, I believe this is our direct invoice. Down here towards the bottom of the settings section, you'll be able to select a confirmation email. Again, once your client completes a payment, that email will go ahead and send. Great way of following up with the client directly after a payment if you so choose. And those emails are going to be from your email templates tab. And then the same can be said about the supplier invoice. You're going to find that option underneath the settings section, underneath confirmation email. You can also update this as a default underneath your automation settings. So I'm going to head back to my dashboard, head to settings, and we're going to head to automation. Ooh, there we go. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. where we're going to be able to select default confirmation emails for supplier invoices, direct invoices, and you can even do it for proposals here as well. So you don't have to do it just from the proposal screen. You can select a default email to be sent for proposals here as well. All right, and our last main update that I want to share is that our pink create button got a little bit of a facelift as well. So if you click on the pink create button in the top left-hand corner of the screen, it used to be only trip, client, and group, but now you have quick actions to create a form and send it to a client, a proposal, an itinerary, a group booking page, or invoice. So really speeds up the process, gives you a direct link to creating one of those features right from that create button. All right, folks. So that wraps up the newest features that we have, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time on some bonus tips that we thought might be helpful for you to know as well if you weren't already aware of these features. So these bonus tips are going to be for the next 5 minutes or so, and then I'll take a look at the questions tab and see how things are going. I do see a lot of questions in there, and a big thank you to the Joymaker team for answering those questions, and we'll talk a little bit about them in just a few moments. Now, the first bonus tip I want to share with you today is how to duplicate group booking pages. So if you were not aware, you can actually take all of the work that you created within a group booking page and duplicate it within that particular group or within a new group. You can even change the payment type for that group booking page, and I'll show you how. I'm going to use our group that I already created. I'm going to head to the Group Files tab. And I'm going to head to our group booking page that I have pre-created before. So let's say that I want to change the payment type for this group booking page. Let's say this is a supplier invoice. I want to change it into a direct group booking page to collect that payment right then and there. I can use the three-dot menu just to the top right of this file. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the duplicate option. And then I'm going to select which group that I want this group booking page to go into. So if I want to keep it in this group, I absolutely can. I will just select it from the drop-down menu that appears, or I can add it to any new group that I want to right from here. I'm going to go ahead and say, let's do believe it or not. We'll put it in the same group. And then you can change the payment type from supplier to direct. So let's say you accidentally made a group booking page in the incorrect invoice. No sweat. You can transfer all of your work to this duplicated group booking page. We'll use that blue continue button in the bottom right. And there we have it. We just went ahead and duplicated it. It's here. It's now a direct payment, and that makes that process nice and easy. So if you're really proud of the work that you've put into a group booking page, reuse it. You absolutely can. Just use that duplicate option. All right. The next thing I'm going to show you also has to do with duplicating, and that's duplicating an entire smart proposal if needed. I'm going to head back to Jane's trip, or Janice's trip rather. I'm going to create a new smart proposal within this trip because let's say that I created a proposal for Janice that I wanted to go duplicate into a new trip if needed. So I'm going to use the library button to open up my smart proposal and itinerary library. And then I can use this search bar up here to search for entire proposals or itineraries to bring in and basically make a copy of. So if I wanted to make another copy of, say, the Austin smart proposal that I created, I'll go ahead and search for it. I have a couple in here since I made a few copies before. I'm going to go ahead and say start from this proposal. This is the one that I want to copy. It's going to replace the proposal that I already have opened with a copy of that proposal, so I can start customizing it for my client right away from here. Amazing. All right, and the last bonus tip I have for you has to do with our group status tab. So I'm going to head back to our dashboard, and I'm going to head back to our group. So if you have ever had to manually add a trip to your group, but you wanted them to be included in the group status tab for easier things like reporting or moving trips around if needed, you may not know about this tool that we have that makes that easier. So we do always have the way to manually add trips using that plus sign just to the right here. But if you want to include a new trip within the group status tab with your other travelers who have booked through a group booking page, this is going to be the way to do it. So I have this group. These travelers have booked through the group booking page. If I want to add someone to this group for reporting purposes, I'm going to use the Add Traveler button. just to the top here. I'm going to add my client from the client list, and I believe I'm adding Josie Doe here. I can choose the package from the group booking page that I want to book her into. So we'll say King Suite. I can choose if I want to add her to a pre-existing room that already has travelers in it, or if I want to add her to a new package. I'm going to keep her on a new trip, but you can go ahead if you are choosing to put her into a room with pre-existing travelers. You'll be able to determine whether or not you want to keep her in her own trip or if you want to add her to their trip. And then the invoice, who it'll be paid by. In this case, it'll be Josie. We'll select that blue save button. And we should be able to see Josie somewhere down here. Lots of Does in the Doe family. There's Josie here. So she's been added to the group status tab. And now we can keep track of her reporting. We can move her around packages. We can move her by roommates. It makes the whole process a lot easier. Perfect. All right, folks. So those are the main things that I wanted to share with you today. And I hope you enjoyed all of them. I'm going to take a quick look at the chats. Hello, everybody. Wonderful. And then I'm going to take a look at our questions tab. Now, as a reminder, if your question is not answered today, please feel free to reach out to us at hello@traveljoy.com or by using the blue chat button in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. We'd be happy to answer those questions for you. There's just a lot of attendees today, so we want to make sure that everyone gets answers to what they've asked. All right. I'm going to see if I can answer any of these questions, so please give me just a moment while I read through them to see if there's anything that I can demonstrate live on screen. This is actually a great one. So I'm going to go ahead and start this here. So can you use a supplier invoice and charge payments to group funds? You absolutely can. So as long as you have direct payments turned on with your account, you are able to charge credit card authorizations on a supplier invoice, and those funds will be collected within the group funds balance. So let's just go ahead and say, if I head into my group, I think I should be able to demonstrate this for you. I'm going to head into, I think John would be a good one for this. See if I can go into his invoice. All right, so this is a supplier invoice that John had completed upon booking through the group booking page. You'll notice that underneath the payment schedule, we have the authorized status here. So that means that we've collected that credit card authorization. But if we wanted to charge this credit card, we absolutely can from here. And the way that you'd be able to do so is by heading underneath the actions column and selecting the money icon here. This will allow us to charge. Now, do take in mind that processing fees do apply when you are charging payments through a supplier invoice, but you'll be able to go ahead and collect that information and that amount into your group funds balance. So once it's been charged, you'll be able to use that amount as needed. That's a great question. All right, let's see if there's anything else here. Oh, okay, let's see. All right. Thank you so much for being patient with me. There are so many good questions in here. And I want to make sure I see a lot of my Joymaker team working on answering these questions as well. Ooh. I believe Heather is answering this question right now, but I may grab it from you, Heather. From Donna. Let me just take a quick peek and make sure that I understand the question completely. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, I think I understand this question now. So Donna asked, what if you want the client to choose whether the pay in full or the deposit and final? Is there a way to make that happen? I believe, and please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, that you're referring to the authorization within Smart Proposals. At this time, you as the advisor are able to choose whether or not you'd like them to authorize in full or authorize a deposit and then a final payment later down the line. But that is a great thing for us to keep in mind, and we can go ahead and share that with our product team. So thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. All right. So many good questions. Yes, I do want to highlight this. Lenore, you did answer this one, so thank you so much for it. T asked, why would it be beneficial to archive a client? So Lenore's question is right on here. It removes them from your active client list, but keeps their trip history, their information, anything that you may need further down the line if needed, but it takes them out of that client list if you're no longer going to be working with them moving forward. Perfect. All right. So many questions. Thank you for allowing me the time to go ahead and get caught up on these. And I do want to go ahead and confirm, because I do see this a couple of times, is this recorded? Absolutely, this is recorded. This session will be sent to you by email about 5 minutes after the session concludes. So keep a lookout on that. You'll be able to replay it if needed. Okay. And some of these questions, I'll just let you know, if they are not going to relate to some of the features that we talked about today, I highly recommend reaching out to us at hello@traveljoy.com or use that blue chat button in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen so we can get you an answer. We want to try to focus on the features that were shared today to make sure we're getting all of those questions answered as well. Okay. Okay, let's see here. This might actually be a great way to talk about that duplicate process for group booking pages. So I'm going to go ahead and try to answer this one as best as I can. I've created a group already and need to change the payment from going into funds to be able to charge the client's credit card. So if I'm understanding correctly, we want to collect a credit card authorization instead of a direct payment. So this would be a great use case for creating a duplicate group booking page. So you'll head into your group. And again, I'm happy to go over these steps once more. Head to your group files tab. And if your group booking page is a direct or supplier payment and you want to change that payment type for anyone that books moving forward, you would use that three-dot menu at the top right-hand corner of the screen and use duplicate. Choose which group you would like it to go into. So if it's the same one, you'll just go ahead and select your same group that you're in and change the payment type below. So you can change that to supplier if you only want to collect credit card authorizations. All right. And as a reminder, we are not taking feature requests today. So if there is something that you would love to see TravelJoy have, we want to hear about it. But please make sure you reach out to us at hello@traveljoy.com or use that blue chat button so that way we can record that request properly and make sure that it gets to the team. There we go. So can we reply to an email from the messaging center? So right now, how the messaging center works, if you click on that item, you'll be able to click on the message itself, and it's going to take you to that trip so you can automatically reply. So there's not a window there for you to reply right then and there from the dashboard, but it's going to take you right to the trip, so puts you exactly where you need to be. Great question. So many questions moving so fast. Okay. All right. This is a great time to let you know, is there a webinar on creating smart proposals? There is indeed. TravelJoy 101 happens every Wednesday unless there is a holiday or we are traveling as a group. So if you would like to go ahead and attend TravelJoy 101, I'm going to paste a link to it in the chat so that you can join us. If you'd like to, we do go over creating smart proposals there. All right. Ooh. Can I duplicate a group booking page that I recently archived? That is a great question. So what you're going to want to do is let's go ahead and say that I have archived this here, and we may be learning about this together in this moment. I've archived this group booking page. So let's say if I want to duplicate it, I can. So this is a great learning opportunity for me as well. So instead of having to unarchive it to duplicate it, you can do it right from that three-dot menu at the top right-hand corner. So great question, because that helped me learn. Thank you. All right. Okay. So I am seeing a lot of feature requests, a lot of great ideas. Again, please be sure to reach out to us at hello@traveljoy.com. We'd be happy to note those requests down. As you can see, we love adding new features. We love listening to you. So please don't hesitate to let us know when you have these wonderful ideas, because we definitely want to go over them with the team. All right. I'm going to go ahead and try to scroll down a little bit to see if there's any other questions that were maybe missed down below, but it looks like the team has done an amazing job of answering these questions. See if there's anything that I can highlight down here. Oh, I do want to highlight, Liz had asked a little while ago, the responses tab within form templates. So is this by trip or collected by all? This is all of the responses that that form has accepted. So if we open up the form in the form template and see the responses, this is how we'd be able to see all of those responses. So it's all in one place. All right. Oh, yes, this is also a wonderful question. Thank you so much to Tamara for asking this question. With the reCAPTCHA update, do we need to update the forms on our websites, or will it automatically update? And Heather had the correct answer here. You will need to update those forms. So if you have a form that has been embedded on your website, or you've shared a form link and you want to add that extra security feature, you're going to want to use the Get Form Link option and embed form to redo those submissions. So redo the embedded form using that form link or the form code, and that way the reCAPTCHA will be added moving forward. Great, great question. Thank you so much for asking that. Good thing to highlight. Okay. All right, folks, I think I'm going to start wrapping up here, but we do still have Joy Makers answering questions in the questions tab. So we are nearing the end of our scheduled session. I just want to take a moment again to thank my fellow Joy Makers for helping provide answers to your questions in the questions tab, but also to you for bringing such amazing questions and joining us today. I want to close things out by going over our help center and how to get in touch with the TravelJoy team, especially if your question was not answered today or if any questions arise after we conclude. As mentioned, you can always reach out to us at hello@traveljoy.com. I'll go ahead and post that in the chat so that you have it. That is our direct email for creating a support request. You can also create a chat support request down here at the bottom right-hand corner of your TravelJoy screen. Our Joymaker team is available from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Most of that time, we have someone that's available on live chat so they can answer questions for you right then and there in the moment. So please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any of those questions. We also have our help center that is available for you to use in the bottom left-hand corner of your TravelJoy screen, as you can see down here at the very bottom left corner. It's going to take you to our help center. I'll post the link to the chat, and thank you all for being here. If you're stepping out, looking forward to having you join us again sometime. You can go ahead and use our help center to search any of the guides that we have created to walk you through how to use TravelJoy's features. I do also want to point out our What's New with TravelJoy article. So if you want to stay on top of all of the newest releases, I highly recommend bookmarking this guide. I'm going to go ahead again and post it in the chat if you'd like to keep it. Anytime that we have a new release, we like to put a little note here, and we'll link any guides that make that release a little bit easier for you. And you can keep track of what's going on at TravelJoy at any given time. So highly recommend bookmarking and checking back on this if needed. Thank you all again for joining us today. As mentioned, you will receive a recording of today's session by email about 5 minutes after the session comes to a close. I think I speak on behalf of the entire team in saying that a large amount of these new features would not be possible without you and your feedback. So please always feel free to reach out to us with that. Your suggestions are always welcome. And you can go ahead and reach out to us using that blue chat button, or hello@traveljoy.com is our direct email whenever you want to share those suggestions or requests. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.